Cosmic Girl 101 signing on for the Gemini Rising May Astrology of 2024. This month we're going to be talking about the Sun, the new moon and the full moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter ingressing into the sign of Gemini, and Pluto going into a retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. Gemini Rising, for you, the Sun continues its transit, opening up the month of May in the sign of Taurus, which is your 12th house. When the Sun is transiting the 12th house, this is where a lot of energy and attention and illumination is now being brought to the surface for you to pay attention to those 12th house topics, which is all about things that are detrimental to us. It could be a habit, it could be an addiction or a vice, it could be a plethora of things, whatever you experience. But that 12th house is all about loss, hospitals, respite, retreat, as spiritual places where we go to find serenity, peace, and harmony through spiritual connection, divination. Also a house that's connected to hidden enemies. So the Sun transits here in your 12th house until the 20th of May, when it ingresses into your sign, Gemini, your first house, until the 20th of June 2024. So when you're having the Sun ingressing into Gemini, your first house, you are very popular, you're a lot more social, there's a lot more response from other people, considering you're back online when the Sun is ingressing Gemini, your first house. So this is where you're more interested in your own personal psychology, your physical appearance. You might be adjusting up the aesthetics of your life in regards to your surroundings or your physical body. But there's a lot of popularity when you're having the Sun in your first house as a transit. So you may be enjoying a lot of social connection and you may be a little bit more popular. On to the moons this month of May. Well, on the 7th of May, there's a new moon in the sign of Taurus, and this is your 12th house. In ancient astrology, the moon was exalted in Taurus and Venus in domicile in her own sign, which she is currently in Taurus as well, at the time of this lunation. So this is helpful and favorable. So what's helpful and favorable from the moon exalted in Taurus and Venus in her own sign of Taurus, your 12th house, Gemini rising? Well, it's easier, more harmonious, it feels more connected and organic to begin something new, to release yourself from something from the past, something that is old and outdated. You might be starting a new practice or making plans to disconnect from things that have been weighing you down in regards to your emotional mindset, how you feel internally. You're starting something new, which feels like it's going to be beneficial for you to release yourself in one way or another, or just begin a new journey that's behind the scenes that feels organic to you. On the 23rd of May, there's a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And for you, Gemini rising, this is your 7th house of agreements, contracts, partnerships, relationships. It's where we connect with other people, and it's open enemies. Now, Jupiter is the ruler of this lunation, and it's currently transiting in Taurus, your 12th house. So when you have a full moon in Sagittarius with Jupiter in the 12th, you could have a completion or an ending regarding a relationship, a spiritual practice, a vice or an addiction, something to do with retreat or things that you're doing behind the scenes, comes to its full entirety and completion, and you're graduating from something that has been very binding. So a significant completion could be associated with a contract negotiation, relationship, or a partnership. Your ruling planet Mercury, Gemini Rising, is transiting in the sign of Aries, which is your 11th house, opening up the month of May. So when you have Mercury transiting the 11th house of beneficiaries, friendships, dreams and goals and aspirations for your future, groups and organizations that are connected to you, Mercury can have you very fired up in regards to communication, how you're thinking intellectually and exchanging ideas and ideologies with other people, or feeling that you're very busy and connected with a lot of friends and groups and organizations at this time. So it's an active time for you mentally as well when Mercury is transiting the 11th house. So it's a loud, busy time. Well, on the 15th of May, Mercury is going to be leaving your 11th house and ingressing into the sign of Taurus, your 12th house, until June 3rd of 2024. Mercury going into Taurus, your 12th house, sees you being very strategic and analytical in regarding getting down to the details about things from the past, your spiritual practices, hidden enemies might become obvious at this time, and that could be drawn out through communications or conversations that you're having where Mercury is flicking on a light and giving you the intel that's necessary to cut things or people from you that have been anchoring for a long time or just simmering in the background for a long time that is now brought to light. Mercury in Taurus, the sign of Taurus, is great for getting down to the details, getting down to looking and communicating about what it is that needs to be sifted through to release yourself from the past, those 12th house topics. On the 17th, Mercury in Taurus is squaring Pluto, which is retrograde in Aquarius at this time on the 17th, which is your 12th and 9th houses in a square aspect. So this could be all about your spiritual connection, beliefs and faith, ideologies and subjects now coming to the forefront, where you could have a bit of a contention moment. This also could see you having a legality situation, something legal coming up that may be from the past or something that has been lying dormant for a while that needs your attention. It almost feels like you're on high alert on this day. Something needs to be addressed. So forewarned is forearmed. This could be a difficult day. On the 27th of May, Mercury in Taurus is sextiling Saturn in Pisces. And Pisces is your 10th house of career, public image, how you're seen and known in the world. In that sextile to the 12th house of things behind the scenes, hidden enemies, addictions, vices, your spiritual beliefs and connections, retreat, hospitals. So you might have a favorable day on the 27th of May regarding something that's been going on from the past or something behind the scenes is now actually helping your career or your public image. You might be revealing something that you've been going through personally for some time, that 12th house, that affects your 10th house public image, career or employment situation positively. It's like an experience that benefits other people, and you might be just being an advocate or declaring something as mundane as a mental health issue that you've been dealing with, and are being quite open in regards to, actually, I've been dealing with this myself, and you're revealing it publicly. But it's favorable and going to be received well. And even if you've been doing anything behind the scenes creatively, like your own personal projects, it could be pottery, it could be anything creative, music, art, you could be releasing this to the public and being seen in a favorable light for your talents. On the 31st of May, that Mercury in Taurus is going to be conjuncting Uranus in Taurus, your 12th house. So a Mercury-Uranus conjunction is interesting in the sign of Taurus because this is where some information or details come through out of the blue that impact you regarding something to do with a conversation with someone from your past, or again, a hidden enemy can be revealed and it might throw you for 6. There could be also something from the past or an addiction or something that you've been working through quite personally has a breakthrough on the day of the 31st of May. Planet Jupiter. Well, Jupiter for you, Gemini Rising, is transiting in Taurus, your 12th house of things unseen and behind the scenes, which we've been talking about. And this transit is now wrapping up and coming to an end. So when you've got Jupiter in Taurus in your 12th house, Jupiter is expanding and giving you a lot of knowledge and a lot of bravado regarding, getting on top of things that seem bigger than they need to be. So it's almost as if you might have been creating something in your mind or things behind the scenes that are bigger than they actually need to be regarding a spiritual connection, an addiction, a creative pursuit. It might be, biting off more than you can chew. So that Jupiter in the 12th house could have been difficult for you, Gemini Rising, this transit. But because Jupiter explodes and expands things, so it could have you, dealing with things psychologically, that have become bigger and bigger and bigger and might have been troublesome. So I like that Jupiter's moving out of the 12th house for you, Gemini Rising, because on the 25th of May, it's ingressing into your sign, the first house, Gemini, until May 25th of 2025 for us. So for a whole year, Jupiter is going into your first house. In ancient astrology, Jupiter was known to be in detriment in Gemini because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is your opposite sign as a Gemini rising in the 7th house. And Jupiter's trying to operate in full force, but it's away from its home. And it's dealing with its own energy without the support of being in its own sign. It's in an opposite sign, and it's ruled by Mercury. And you're ruled by Mercury as a Gemini rising. So when Jupiter's transiting your first house for a year, there is a lot of expansion and growth regarding your popularity. You could be gaining knowledge and traveling more. You could also be intertwined in legal proceedings, being very drawn into philosophical side of life, spiritual side of life. You could also be gaining weight, Jupiter expansion in the physical body, first house. You could be putting on weight. You could be becoming pregnant for some. But that Jupiter, being an auspicious planet, is giving you a lot of abundance and a lot of positivity when auspicious moments in regard to the first house. How you're seen and known by people, a lot more popular, people connecting to you, you connecting to other people, also being quite experimental when it comes to changing up your physical appearance. So enjoy that transit when Jupiter is transiting your first house for 1 year, Gemini rising. Planet Mars. Well, Mars is the planet of action, haste, can be all about severing and cutting and conflicts and bravado. First out of the gate, Mars is just ready to go and take action. Well, opening up the month of May, Mars continues its transit for you, Gemini rising, in the sign of Aries, your 11th house. And Mars is at home in Aries, so it's very strong here. So you may have some feisty conversations with groups of people, friendships. You could be cutting away from people, groups, or you could just see an acceleration of passion and enjoyment, just taking risks when it comes to taking action regarding groups or organizations that you're connected to. You could also see beneficiaries being cut out from your life as well. So, or some conflict with a so-called benefit that affects your career, public image, employment as well. On the 3rd of May, Mars is sextiling Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, your 9th house. So we've got a sextile, your 11th house and 9th house. So this is where you might plant a seed to take some action on planning a future trip with a friend or a group and organisation overseas, connecting with people through media and publishing. That is a lot of fun or exciting for you on the 3rd of May. Mars is quiet and direct all month in the month of May in the sign of Aries, your 11th house. So if you need to take action, feel like you need to have some direct conversations with friends, groups of people that you're connected to, or even trying to get beneficiaries on board to help you go into a different direction regarding your career or public image, this is a great transit for you to utilize at your free will. Venus. Now, Venus is very active this month. She's having a lot of aspects, which quite simply means she's having a lot of different conversations with other planets. Venus, opening up the month of May, continues her transit in the sign of Taurus, her home sign, which is your 12th house. And Venus, being a benefic in ancient astrology, is helpful to creating harmony, doing the things that we need to do organically. So for you, Gemini Rising, what you need to do is enjoy having hidden enemies revealed so you can let them go and let the anchor go regarding addictions as well, enjoying spiritual connection, divination, investing money behind the scenes. So you could be investing in something to do aesthetically with your body, going into hospital to have some sort of aesthetic procedure. This is favourable. Venus in the 12th in her home sign is a strong placement for you to find a lot of pleasure in doing things behind the scenes and getting on top of things that have been weighing you down for a long time. It's helpful. On the 1st of May, that Venus is in a square to Pluto. And this is your 9th house. So your 12th house and 9th house in a square aspect could have a connection internationally or a legal problem going on regarding your finances, or even things that you're doing aesthetically. It could be in your home or your physical body. It could be a day of contention that is difficult. Something needs to be ironed out here, especially regarding other people internationally connected to you, or even a legality as well as aforementioned. On the 13th of May, Venus is going to sextile Saturn in Pisces, that 12th and 10th house. This is a nice aspect for being determined to release something from your past or bring something out from the past that you've been doing creatively behind the scenes that helps your career and employment situation. You might see a friendship or a relationship blossom in the workplace, or a career opportunity that's going to be favorable or held back for you for a little while. It's now coming back online. On the 18th, Venus conjuncts Uranus and Taurus, your 12th house. This could be a surprise day or a day of revelations regarding a spiritual breakthrough, knowledge coming to you, or finances now being available that have been withheld from you for a long time regarding an investment or a friendship as well for you. This is a favourable day on the 18th. On the 23rd, Venus conjuncts Jupiter in domicile in a home sign of Taurus, your 12th house. So Jupiter and Venus in ancient astrology were known as the two benefics. So when you have the two benefics coming into a conjunction, this is very auspicious. It's very powerful and big and harmonious and quite lucky. So when you have a conjunction in your 12th house, you can see relationships have a fantastic turnaround, a financial situation coming on board that is beneficial to you, and could possibly be a relationship being blown out of proportion as well, or a situation from the past being blown out of proportion or coming to your attention that needs to be dealt with immediately. So it's a double-edged sword for me as an astrologer this day, for you as a Gemini rising in that 12th house. On the same day, Venus is going to leave the sign of Taurus, her home ruler, and ingress into Gemini until June 17, 2024. And this is your first house, Gemini rising. So when you've got Venus transiting your first house until June 17, this is favorable for having more harmony in relationships, more finances available, you're enjoying life more, you're investing money in your physical appearance, you're enjoying connection, and again, becoming a lot more popular and attractive to other people. On the 25th of May, Venus in Gemini is trining that retrograde Pluto in Aquarius. So your first and ninth house are now in a trine. They're in a square opening up the month, but now in a trine. So if there was any problems with legalities, people connected from far off places, even your spiritual aspects of life and ideologies, things are becoming more favorable now. So you could be having more harmonious communication, connecting with foreign trade, media and publishing a lot more favorable than it has been for a little while. So this is a nice day to mark in your calendar, the 25th of May. A quick mention about Saturn, Neptune and Uranus, these planets. Well, for you Gemini rising, Saturn is direct in the sign of Pisces all month, your 10th house. So Saturn's doing his magic in the 10th house of trying to solidify something concrete regarding your career, public image, or work and employment, or trying to move you away and change up your direction regarding your career. Neptune's direct in Pisces, your 10th house, so there could be times when you're feeling creative sparks in your workplace. Your workplace could be literally going through a transformation as well. Things are changing, or you might be feeling like you're disconnecting from your workplace as well, with Neptune transiting in the 10th house is a possibility. And Uranus is direct in Taurus, your 12th house all month. And Uranus in Taurus, your 12th house, is just giving you an opportunity to do things differently regarding your spiritual connections, things behind the scenes, vices, hidden enemies, and also to do with hospitals and retreats and places where you go to travel. Uranus is trying to break things up and change things for you there as well, which is quite positive, Gemini rising. Planet Pluto. Well, Pluto in Aquarius goes into a retrograde on the 2nd of May. And for you, Gemini rising, this is your 9th house. This transit lasts until September 1st of 2024. So when Pluto goes backwards, you have the opportunity to reevaluate your spiritual beliefs and ideologies about life, a legal situation, media and publishing, higher education. This is a house that's very busy regarding international and foreign connections. So you might see a return of an opportunity to travel, or you might be going back over connections with people from overseas. And again, all those 9th house topics are highlighted and up for reevaluation. If something needs to be reassessed, or you need to go over finer details, Pluto is going to help release and transform those redirections and retracing of steps that are beneficial to you regarding those 9th house topics. Cosmic Girl 101 signing off. Have a blessed and magical May, Gemini rising. I hope you found some value and enjoyed this content, and I will see you next time.